The war is coming home and Vladimir Putin is officially running out of time and men. For the first time since the invasion began, a catastrophic shift is happening on the front lines, and the Kremlin is terrified of what will happen when the Russian public finds out. This senseless conquest is finally breaking the bank, but instead of stopping, Putin has turned entirely draconian. To find more bodies for his meat grinder, Putin is plunging the entire country into total digital darkness. But his plan is already blowing up in his face. The official excuse Kremlin just gave for this digital blackout is so wildly hypocritical that even loyal politicians are now publicly turning against the regime. Families are being completely cut off from the front lines and citizens are being forced into a dystopian trap. This fear, anger, and betrayal is exactly why Russians are finally speaking out, proving that Putin's war is now a war against his own people. The cracks in the Kremlin's narrative are widening every single day, and our story starts with the exact moment when their lies fell apart. You see, the Kremlin was just forced to announce that it will not be banning Telegram for the soldiers. But for the civilians, Telegram is still gonna be banned. The reason for this backtrack is pretty simple. The Kremlin now admits that the soldiers on the front lines need Telegram for coordination. But after this backtracking, the official explanation that Kremlin gave as to why they were banning Telegram in the first place doesn't make sense at all. Take a listen.
Information security is one of the main parts of the struggle between us and NATO countries. We probably won't be able to do things differently here. I understand that this is inconvenient for many people, including me, because I have my own Telegram channel that people read. Still, there are imperatives of the times and threats to information security. Perhaps we need to react to them. Are you moving to Max, or are you already at Max? I'm already in Max. I have a channel on Max, and in principle, I now conduct all my work correspondence on Max. Isn't this scary for you? It's not scary for me.
You see, Russia claimed that they wanted to ban Telegram because NATO was using it to spy on Russian soldiers. NATO was reading their messages and tracking their movements. But wait a second, if NATO can spy through Telegram, why are soldiers still being allowed to use it and the app is only being banned for civilians? The logic just doesn't hold up. If Telegram was actually compromised, Russian military communication would be the first thing that would be shut down, not the last. So, now Russia's position is NATO is still spying through Telegram, but it's fine for soldiers to use it, not just citizens. And that's why, to protect the citizens, Putin is banning the app. But it doesn't make any sense unless the real reason for the ban has nothing to do with NATO at all. You see, if we dig deeper into Kremlin's own statistics, the number they publish every single month, we find what this is really about. You see, for the last 2 months, something has been happening that has never happened since Putin started this 3-day special military operation. The Russian army is actually getting smaller. More soldiers are being killed on the front lines than Russia can recruit at home. Here are the exact numbers. In December, roughly 35,000 Russian soldiers were killed, but Russia was only able to recruit around 26,000 people. That means the army shrank by 9,000 men in a single month. Now, 1 month is not that big a deal, especially for someone like Putin. He doesn't care about Russian lives. But the trend continued in January, and it's very likely that the trend will continue for the rest of the year. In fact, according to Ukraine's defense minister, the Ukrainian goal is to push the Russian losses to 50,000 killed in action every single month. With sign-up bonuses falling inside Russia because the money is running out, Putin is going to have a harder and harder time replacing the soldiers who are dying on the front lines. And this is exactly why he's shutting down Telegram. According to pro-Russian military sources, Putin is now planning another mobilization, possibly a full mobilization. And to avoid the chaos that happened last time, he's shutting down Telegram preemptively. Now, I'm sure you guys know what happened last time, but here's a quick recap. It's September 2022 and Putin realizes that his 3-day special military operation is gonna be longer than 3 days. So he orders a partial mobilization. The result was catastrophic for the Kremlin. More than 1 million Russians fled the country. These were highly educated, high-earning professionals that Russian economy desperately needed. But they just got up and left. On top of this, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands protested across the country. This included cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, and even the far-flung regions. Here's the footage from those protests.
Well, the fallout from Russian President Vladimir Putin's call for a partial mobilization of reserve troops continues. The deeply unpopular move sparked rare protests across the country, leading to almost 1,200 arrests. Police in heavy armor tackled demonstrators, removing some as they shouted no to war. Some Russians even scrambled to buy one-way tickets to flee the country as the announcement raised fears that men of fighting age would not be allowed to leave.
The situation got so bad that Putin actually had to admit that the Kremlin made errors in the mobilization orders. Now, that may not sound like a lot to you guys, but in Russia, a politician, especially someone like Putin, admitting a mistake publicly, well, that's a very rare event. And it tells you exactly how bad this mobilization actually went. But now Putin is trying to do it again. And the reason is pretty simple. He has no other choice. The Russian army is stuck on the front line. Putin promised back in October that they would capture Pokrovsk. We are now in February and it still hasn't happened. Russia is losing tens of thousands of soldiers every single month, and Putin needs bodies. But the Russian economy just doesn't have the capacity to keep paying millions of rubles in bonuses just so more people sign up to die on the front lines. That's why the bonuses are falling, but the casualties keep on rising. So the only option left is a forced mobilization. And that's why he's preparing ahead of time. Shut down Telegram first, prevent people from organizing protests, and then announce the mobilization when people cannot fight back. But Russians are not stupid. They see what's happening and they are pushing back publicly. Putin wants everyone to move to Max, which is a state-run messenger app built by the Russian security services. He says it's completely safe. No one can hack this app. But here's how ordinary Russians are reacting. This is from street interviews on Russian TikTok.
Max, no way. Never either. I'll only switch to Max in a coffin. This is complete nonsense. The data is being leaked. There's no protection whatsoever. So basically, any 5th grader who's mastered, I don't know, can hack you. Terrible. Unpleasant. Max, we won't cross. Because it's a spy worm, we don't sign up for that.
What will you do next? Is there any way to get around this slowdown?
Buy a pigeon.
Do you continue to use it? I continue. And if it gets completely blocked, are you considering switching to Max, for example? I also use Max, and it won't be blocked.
Well, Max definitely not. Straight away against it.
Do you still use Telegram?
Yes. As far as possible. No videos for now, just messages, of course, I'll continue.
Is there some kind of moral fatigue from this? Yes, it's big. I believe it's an attempt to censor information so that there's only one source. For example, just Max, one Telegram channel, from which they get information that benefits the state. I believe. Well, it sucks. But there is VPN. There is proxy. I have a lot of acquaintances from the front, and they are very unhappy with this blocking. That's what I can say. What do you plan to do next? Will you somehow continue using Telegram or switch to, say, Max? I will not switch to Max under any circumstances. I will use it. Next, Telegram, I use a paid VPN. Everything is great.
Now that last part is critical. Millions of families have soldiers on the front lines. The only way they can stay in contact is through Telegram. And now Putin is forcing civilians off of Telegram, but soldiers are still allowed to use it. So, how are families supposed to communicate with their loved ones fighting in Ukraine? They can't, and that's exactly why many Russians are furious about it. Even Russian politicians are publicly criticizing the ban because of this reason. Here's a member of the Russian parliament explaining how badly this is going to backfire. Take a listen.
Who is slowing down Telegram? Go to the front lines. Join the SMO. For the guys shedding their blood, this is their only link to family and loved ones. What are you doing, idiots? I call things by their proper names. You are idiots. What are you doing? People are raising money for the SMO through Telegram. For many people, the only way to communicate with their family and loved ones is through Telegram channels. Yes, Max is a great messenger, but let's let people decide for themselves what they want to use. I want to say again, those who are doing this are scoundrels. Scoundrels. People are dying there for Russia, for the Russian world. And what are you doing? Come to your senses.
Одумайтесь.
This is not an opposition figure. This is a member of Putin's own government saying that this is a disaster. So how is Kremlin responding to all this? Well, they're ordering their propagandists to frame the ban as a positive thing. Frame it as government protecting the public. Just take a listen to the new orders that are being sent out to Russian state TV.
Let's get rid of illusions. No, really. I've read all the expressions of outrage and distress about Telegram, about convenience and inconvenience, about the impact on the front. What is the problem with Telegram? There is only one. Is Telegram convenient? Very much so. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. You have to follow the laws. You know how much I liked GPS? It was unreal. But when the war with Ossetia had started, in Ossetia, for Ossetia, so that people would stop being killed, it was against Georgia to force it into peace. Americans immediately cut the GPS off. They were also exposing our locations.
And this isn't the first time Putin has crippled his own country in the name of security. He has also turned off GPS in all Russian cities, including Moscow and St. Petersburg. He claims that Ukrainians are using GPS to guide drones towards refineries and oil depots. So now Russians cannot navigate through their own cities, and they're not very happy about it. This was one of the most viral clips on Russian social media. Now, I have showed you guys this a few months ago, but in case you missed it, it's worth seeing again. Here it is.
In short, they make videos like, I don't know how to drive, so I'll drive to the door dam. I had a fucking meeting today. I got all dressed up. And I can't get there because this navigator doesn't work in the center. And what do you think? I just fucking drove around the Kremlin for an hour. I couldn't fucking turn where I needed to. And I really can't just fucking go back, I can't. So you understand, I'm fucking going to MKAD to turn it around. Basically, I need to go there, but I can't fucking go there because I don't understand where the turn is. I understand in my head that I probably need to go somewhere to the left or right, because, well, there is, of course, no obvious turn on Tverskaya. But you see, I'm spinning around and in the end, I'm completely lost. It's fucking bullshit. I just drove for an hour. An hour, so you understand. I'm not exaggerating. And now here I am, fucking driving towards the Moscow Ring Road. I'll just run away on the MKAD because I need to go to the center of Moscow, but I'm heading to the Ring Road because I don't know where the U-turn is. Damn it. It seems like I'll only figure things out in Khimki, because in Khimki I can navigate without a navigator. I'm so fucking offended. It's just a shame, I can't... She's just offended, that's all. I'm just so offended.